On today's episode of Swim Lessons, we have a person that is by far the most hardworking human being I've came in contact with down here in Arizona. He's started kind of something that's really unique in both the lifestyle that he has and also just getting in really good shape. Caleb Hock, and he owns owner and trainer at Glory Gains here in North Scottsdale, and he's just a really good proponent of what happens when you take care of your body, take care of your mind, and you're always looking to do the next best thing. On today's podcast, Caleb and I talk about how kind of he achieves that, anywhere from setting weekly to monthly to yearly goals, and what he does just every day to wake up and kind of his mindset moving forward. I learned a lot from today's podcast, and I hope you guys do too, but without a doubt. And here we go, Caleb Hock.
Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
All right, Caleb, thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, buddy, let's do this.
It's very, I'm happy to see you. I tell everybody this, but you are probably the most hardworking person I know out of my friends. What time do you usually get up every day?
Typical alarm clock, man, 3:30 a.m., Monday through Friday. Weekends, usually around like 5 a.m.
So the weekends you get to sleep
in, you know?
Still an hour in, man, yeah. But what's kind of something when you wake up every morning, you're like, all right, I got to do this again. I'm ready to go back to war again. What kind of mindset do you carry with yourself every day?
I mean, man, I'm just a big believer. If you're doing your purpose in life, I mean, every day waking up is a blessing, you know? So every day I wake up, say my prayers, how blessed I am, and then just get going. You know, I have my normal routine, make breakfast, get out the door, get to my gym. And first thing I do, man, is I always got these little things that I do every single day, consistency. So just gets me going, ready for the day.
Are you like a big list guy where, you like to check something off?
Oh,
I got this done. For
sure, man. Every day when I'm eating breakfast, I pull up my iPhone. I have a to-do list. Every day I'm looking at that. Every night before I go to bed, I'm looking at that.
So every night you kind of like lay out, okay, say it's Monday night, Tuesday morning, this is what I got to accomplish by noon.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I'm eating oatmeal and eggs this morning. My session's 5 a.m. to noon. Eat lunch real quick. I got to be here at 1:30 for this podcast. Boom. Like I know exactly what my day looks like.
That's awesome, man. I think that's really important, especially for people, like in our age group. Sometimes we get lost in translation and kind of, but you've got a good schedule, and I know that, and I see every day. But take me back, man. Let's take everybody back that's going to be listening to this podcast. High school. What was high school like for Caleb?
Yeah,
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Midwest Nebraska. The dead center of Nebraska is called Lexington. Small town, 10,000.
Yeah.
It's known for its Tyson chicken plant.
Really?
So, yeah, man. My parents weren't farmers or anything like that, but that was kind of the lifestyle there, that farm life.
Yeah.
Grew up just playing sports. That's all we really had. We had a bowling alley. We had a movie theater that was open on Friday nights. And other than that, man, it was just sports. So, I mean, of course, I loved my gaming with my friends and all that. But other than that nerd side of me, it was just sports, because that's all we had to do.
Yeah. I mean, small town. I came from a small town too, so I totally get, Matt, where you're coming from, man. Now college, you graduate high school, obviously big in sports. You really like training. Where do you find yourself now?
So I had a few scholarships going my way. I ended up taking a Division II school, NAIA now, Doane College. It's just outside Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hey, I went to Dickinson State. I know NAIA,
you know
dude.
What's
I love
up, baby.
NAIA, bro.
Yeah, man, it's competitive.
It is.
So I had a track scholarship. That's what I ultimately ended up taking. I mean, in high school, I played all the sports there was, but track was where it was at. And just, it was a grind, man. I'm very blessed that I went to college because it really taught me how to be independent. I was a mama's boy, man. She did she did everything for me. My laundry, cooked. So when I got to college, I didn't have a clue how to do anything. But it was like, all right, it's time to grind. And especially with that heavy tuition, even with the track scholarship, that even just motivated me. Like, I need to do this right, and get going.
That's perfect. And what was your go-to race?
So I ran the 400 meters come college.
That's the toughest race in
And
track.
it is one lap, man. All
you
out.
got.
It's not a jog. It's not a sprint.
Red line.
Yeah. By the end, get those guys puking in trash cans.
Yeah.
And man, practice was even worse. We had this like 85-year-old coach, and his whole philosophy was just grind, 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 grind. Even the day before practice, like the sprinters, they're just chilling in the cold baths, eating fruit, chilling, and like we're going like all out 200s, like 10 sets with a 30-second rest, and you're like, dude, we gotta meet tomorrow, and you're just frying us. And that was his philosophy. So
you get done with track.
Yep.
What you got your degree?
Yeah, so exercise science.
Okay.
Graduated in 3 years, 4.0, just grinded through. I just wanted to get done early, save money. And so I have my degree. I have the highest certification in the field, where the only way you could take this test is if you have a bachelor's degree in exercise science or a fitness relative field. So I ended up taking this test. It's called the Nasm Cscs. So it's more geared to training athletes, whether college or pro. Okay. And I'm like, hey, I'm only 21 years old. All my friends still have another year in college. Let me just find somewhere to go and just chill a little bit, because I grinded so hard, and just try being a personal trainer, because that's what I enjoy doing. And that's what brought me out to Arizona.
So you moved out here at 21?
Yeah.
How many people did you know?
I knew 3 people. My cousins, they were triplets. And I've met them twice in my life until then.
Wow. So where would you just break down the story for everybody when you first moved down here?
All right,
Why did you pick Arizona?
So here's the thing. So with that certification, I had a job board. And with that job board, it pretty much had all these jobs lined up. Only people who were Nasm Cscs could go for. Yeah. So I made pretty much a roadmap. So pretty much, man, in that summer, I'm working at the pool. I was a lifeguard for 5 years. That's the only other job I've ever had.
Okay.
Just chilling, and during my breaks on literally like a road map, not even like GPS or anything. I mapped out exactly where I wanted to go and circled it. So it's like I had some stops in Denver. I went through New Mexico, went Flagstaff, did some stuff in Texas even too, some interviews, and Phoenix, and then even some in San Diego. So I had like all these spots lined up. And then I also did some over Skype in Florida.
Okay.
But ultimately, I wanted to hit California, I wanted to hit Arizona, and I wanted to hit Florida, California, Arizona.
You want that summer weather.
Exactly. I know people want to grind there. People want to look good 24/7. And of course, the money's there in those states. Man, I got to Scottsdale. So I had a 98 Trailblazer, man.
Okay.
And this was in July. So, and I drove out here. It was like 17 hours. And besides those interviews, it was just interview, go, interview, go, interview, go.
Yeah.
And I'm like sweating in my dress shirt and my tie, driving like when I get close, and literally like eating Subway and gas stations. You know what I mean? And I get out here, man, and it was eye-opening. Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm like, I've never even seen a place like this. Because going up from the Midwest, we didn't go on like elaborate vacations. I've never been to California in my life. Like we would go to Denver. We'd go to Kansas City. Like I've never been outside of that. So,
nothing even relatively close to where we are today.
We just had a simple life. I mean, we're happy. My parents did well, but it wasn't anything like when I came to Scottsdale and started seeing, Porsches or Ferraris or whatever. I was like, where am I?
Yeah. Girls that don't wear turtlenecks 24/7.
Yeah. Pretty much, man.
Now, so you're 21, moved to a new city, don't know anybody.
Yep.
Now what?
So I started off at a corporate gym, like the highest end of the corporate gym. Yep, in North Scottsdale. I had a little 1-bedroom apartment. I just had some roommates. Like didn't know anyone. And it was like, all right, just back like I was in college and my whole life. Time to grind. Yeah. I had about $1,000 in my bank account from working in the summer, and I was just like, Caleb, you got like a month worth to pay your bills. And let's just grind, because it's a commission job. So if you're not making the sales and you're personal training people and getting the clients, you're not making money. And I knew I always had the fallback with the high degree and certification. I can always go to grad school and they would pay for it with my degree. But it's like, I want to see what this personal training is all about. I'm sick of school. I've been doing it for 3 years. 19 credit hours every semester, just grind. And I want to do something more than just school. I want to start working. So, and that's where I was. And I was literally at this facility. I was 12 to 14 hour days. Our shifts were only 8 hours. And I'm like, my clients aren't going to build themselves. So I got to be there. even if I'm just handing out towels, even if I'm mixing protein shakes in the cafe and saying, hey, try a sample, just breaking the ice, you know, doing whatever I can to just connect and talk with new people. What's
kind of the idea you had? Was it just being personable with these? Because I mean, you're in a brand new city, brand new job. What did you find? Did you bring that Midwest attitude with you?
Yeah, you know, I didn't notice it because that's all I knew is the Midwest attitude, just be myself. And literally so many people would come up to me and they'd be like, oh, you gotta be from the Midwest. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how'd you know? And they're like, just like, because you're handing us a towel, you're holding the door for us, you're just so personal. And they're like, we could tell that's kind of where you grew up. And so I'm super thankful for that, man.
So now you're working this job. When does the idea of Glory Gains pop into Caleb's head?
Yeah, man. So I built my clientele to about 50 clients and I'm doing great. But the problem with it is there's only so many hours a day and they're taking 50% of my commission. So it's totally fine because they're giving me a beautiful facility, you know, the spa, the showers, the pools, the basketball courts. So I get it. But at the end of the day, there's no way to go up.
Right.
So I'm stuck. And my whole thing is my whole life I've just been driven. I want to be better in sports. I'll spend 10 hours outside shooting hoops just to get better. And anyway, so I'm like, what's the next step? And I was only 23 years old at the time. I've only been at that job for a little over a year and a half. I was like, what's the next step? And literally I put in my 2-week notice and I decided I'm going to go to a private gym, and the clients that want to follow me, great. And the ones that don't want to follow me, totally fine. I get it. And I'm just going to start Glory Gains personal training.
Okay. So you were actually at a different gym?
Yeah, so Glory Gains Gym wasn't created yet. I was still just 23 years old. Like I said,
you were just Glory Gains.
Yeah. Okay. So it was an LLC.
Okay.
I paid a gym owner rent.
Okay.
And then I had access to that facility and I could run my own business out of it. So I had my own insurance, my own clientele, my own rates, pretty much my own hours. I was my own boss, but I didn't have anyone or any employees under me. Glory Gains Personal Training was just a personal training name. There was no brick and mortar or anything like that.
So you were going to different gyms to see different types of people?
Yeah, I had some at-home clients, but like 75% of my clients were at this facility where I was paying rent.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was an owner. He owned the gym. He trained some of his clients, and there was about 20 other of us trainers, and we all paid him rent to use his facility.
Okay, sure. What did you find out about yourself because that's a scary thing, man.
Man,
to start off just like that.
At that time, man, and besides moving to Arizona with no money and knowing no one, that was the next biggest risk of my life. And that's why I'm thankful for that move to Arizona, not knowing anyone, because I was already a little used to the risk. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to take that next risk, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I made that jump, and man, it was just amazing. Within 3 months, my clientele jumped from 50 to 100 just because it took that corporate structure and rules all out of it. Yeah. So now it's like, okay, I make my own rules. If I want to train someone at 11 p.m. at night, I can. If I want to train 5 people at a time rather than one person at a time, I can. If I want to charge everyone $40 instead of $100 an hour, I can. So now I have a lot more range of motion for my clients and a lot more flexibility so I can help their needs of what they need. Yeah.
So it's personable.
Way more personable, and I can create my own brand through it instead of having to use that corporate structure as a brand.
What is your brand?
So Glory Gains, man, what that means, everything I gain and achieve for the glory of God. So I have a huge faith and religious background, and that's kind of what started Glory Gains. So obviously gains, in the gym, let's get gains, bro, all that stuff. But then you throw the glory in there too of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Well, it's a very unique name. And I think, when Phil told me, our mutual friend, Philip Wright, told me about Glory Gains, I was like, it's a unique name, man. Because, there's so many things out here. There's so many fake people. There's so many, because we are, dude, this is the Mecca. This is the big leagues. And, Caleb, just about as well as anybody, there's a lot of fake people.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
And right away if someone's just trying to dig in your pocket, and you are more like the genuine guy. So when I heard of Glory Gains, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then I met you, and now it's like, okay, now we're good buddies, and now it's just all wrapping up together. So kudos to you on that.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. So going back to the brand, Is this something that you like one day when you're working, obviously in the corporate structure of things,
Yeah.
you're like, I want to kind of create, did you kind of go through that in your mind or?
You know, I'm a big reader, read lots of books. So I was always like, what's that next step? What's that next step? How do I not just grow financially, but grow my passion and my purpose and change more lives? And that's where it's like, everything I've read, it always said, if you don't put your purpose and your passion with what you're doing for work, you're not going to enjoy it and love it and changing people's lives. And I'm like, well, I love fitness. I love my religion and my faith.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I intermingle those two things and make it something that I'm just going to love doing for the rest of my life?
What would you tell 18-year-old Caleb?
Oh man. So I was, yeah, dude.
What would you tell yourself?
I was a scared, not even though I was a great athlete, I wasn't that confident, cool, like most popular kid. Like I said, I was kind of a nerdy, like very good athlete, but I was like 150, a little timid. And I would just say, man, you just gotta stick to your guns. Like it's always cool following what everyone else is doing, going to the big Division I school, trying to make it, you know, going to the parties, drinking, doing all that stuff. But just stick to your roots, man. Like not many people know about this, but I've never had a sip of alcohol in my life.
I knew that. I told Nick before he came in, because I like to talk to him about the guests we have. And he's like, what's Caleb like? I'm like, well, he's the most hardworking friend that I have.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink.
Yeah.
He goes, works, gets up every day. I knew it was like around 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you can't drink if you're going to do that shit. Believe me, I have my fair share of alcohol every now and then.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have, and I think that's what we're talking about at the beginning. If you've got a routine, you're going to stay away from things that'll throw off that routine.
Yeah, man. I'm a creature of habit, and I know what works and what doesn't work for me. It's like, dude, I eat a cheat meal 2 days in a row on vacay. By that third day, man, I'm just feeling out of it, lethargic, and I'm like, I just don't like the way it feels. I mean, trust me, I love the food when I'm eating it, but I know it's not going to make me feel my most optimal.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do I do that? So it's like, I'm a very creature of habit, and to never have alcohol to begin with, and now to be 29 years old and not have the urge to it, it's like, honestly, people ask me all the time, and I probably won't ever for the rest of my life.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like you said, do your own thing. Be your own boss. Be your own friend. You know, do your own things.
Totally.
Now, going back to kind of tell me, because people that don't know that are listening to this, Glory Gains is a fantastic gym. I try to go there as much as I can.
Right.
How did you build what you've got today? Going back to this LLC part when you just first starting out.
So I was just grinding. Like I said, I built my business up to about 100 clients, and now I'm more small group specific. So what I found out is there's only a certain amount of hours a day. I mean, I could maybe work at tops 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
5 to 6 days a week. And if I do anything more than that, I'm just going to be shot, you know? And so how do I get the most people in at a time so I can change the most people's lives? So anyways, I started doing small group training. And that's
how many were in a group?
Yeah. So I would start out with just 5 ladies at 9 a.m. I'd be like, okay, so you 5 share the hour. And then all of a sudden they tell their friends and they tell their friends. And it's like, man, I can't. At that time, it was kind of a blessing in disguise where the owner would only let me, since it was a smaller gym, train 5 people at a time. At the time, I was like, man, dude, I could be training 10 people at a time.
Just didn't think you could handle it?
But his rule was only 5 on the floor because he didn't want you to monopolize the gym floor.
Okay.
And so I'm like, all right, I'll follow his rules. So now I had to I had to turn my 8 o'clock, because at that time I was only doing one-on-ones and charging people like $100 to $120 an hour. Now I can charge $25 an hour and train 5 people. I'm still making $100, $125, but now I'm affecting 5 people and helping 5 people out instead of just one person. And now I have 5 people marketing me rather than just one person marketing me and giving me referrals. And so then that 8 a.m. slot turned into a group, then that 10 a.m. slot, then that 7, and then 11, then 6, and then 5. And then literally besides the afternoons or my very specific clients who need me because of injury or sports performance, everyone else was just small group. Because at the end of the day, 95% of the people that come to me, it's like, hey, look, Caleb, I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to live a healthy life. I want to be pushed because I'm not going to push it myself in the gym.
Yeah.
And so that's my niche, and that's how those are the type of people I train.
You do a great job at. No, keep going, man. You do
Yeah. So then anyways, I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, what's the next step, Caleb? You took that risk moving out here. You took that risk leaving your safe corporate job. All right, now what's the next step? You can't just train 12 hours every day, day in and day out. So it's like, all right, let's turn Glory Gains personal training into something bigger. And that's where it's like, all right, Glory Gains Gym is the next step. And it had that nice ring to it, the 3Gs, Glory Gains Gym. And this is where this really pushed me and tested me. I spent over 18 months searching for the right facility, and there was a lot of prayer, a lot of time of thinking, but it's like every time I saw something I liked, there was something that just wasn't there. I was with what I had in my pocket and saved up because I had no investors. I had people who believed in me and wanted to invest, but I wanted to do this on my own terms so I can set the rules and set the boundaries and set the brand and not have someone with deep pockets tell me how to run the business. So I was looking for something anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 square feet. And then after a year of patience and like, no, that's not the right place. That's not the right. Then I'm like, all right, let me expand to about 9,000 square feet and see if there's anything out there in Scottsdale. And this is North Scottsdale. So this is cream of the crop, lots of money. I mean, we're not talking California real estate, but this is a lot of money. And then I came across this building that was 15,000 square feet. It was a volleyball academy center. And I just told my realtor, man, this is just way too big, but it was everything I wanted. It had high ceilings, had a locker room with showers. I mean, there's some touch-up stuff. And they were kicking the volleyball place out for not paying rent. I'm like, I just told my realtor, I'm like, man, this is about double of what I need. And it's just too big of a financial burden and too big of a risk for me to take. So let's just keep looking. Literally 2 months go by. That realtor calls us right back up and says, hey, the building next door is taking about 3,000 square feet. We have this building, 12,000 square feet. Do you want it now? Take it. If not, we got other people asking for it. Oh. And I'm just like, all right, let's dive in. Let's take that risk.
Yeah,
man. So pretty much spending almost double of amount of rent each month than what I had planned initially with my own profit and losses and talking to business mentors and things like that. But I'm like, I'm like, literally, if I trained about the 150 clients I had at the time, if I trained all those and kept my same schedule, just for me to pay my gym bills and all my overhead, I'd be making $0. And that's me grinding. And I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be tough. But at the end of the day, it's like, take that next risk. What's that next jump? How are you going to grow and change people's lives? So on June 2017, man, I took the building over and it was turned into Glory Gains Gym. It was me. I had 2 other personal trainers and I had my own 150 clients. And it was like, all right, let's grind.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that story. Now, I mean, I've seen some pictures of Glory Gains now, but you've painted the inside. You've got brand new machines.
Yep. So my whole philosophy was, how am I going to stand out from every other gym out here in Phoenix? Because there's a lot of gyms out here, especially those big corporate gyms. How are we going to make this high-end demographic of North Phoenix and Scottsdale? Why would people want to come to me over other gyms? And why would trainers want to come to my gym instead of training at other gyms? And it's like, I'm going to have to take the time and do everything the right way and put the right amount of equipment and everything in that's going to make us set ourselves apart from other gyms. And what I already knew, and this was from learning from the other gym I was at and things like that, is I need to go brand new everything, high-end everything, take the time and spend the extra money that other gym owners won't want to do, and they'll take the shortcuts. And that's what's going to set us apart from all those other gyms. So, man, just like, for example, to throw some numbers at you, just to paint the whole entire gym all white and all black so it looks aesthetically pleasing, that cost me $15,000 right off the bat just to paint.
Holy shit. Yellow.
Yep.
What?
And then just for the equipment, I had to drop $300,000. Just for high-end equipment. That's not, I could have went and bought used equipment, like some of these
sparkles and shit on it.
Yeah, I'm watching YouTube, some of the like role models, Christian Guzman of Alpha Elite, Steve Cook, he has his own gym and he was looking for a gym out here. They both come through to my gym, really nice guys and stuff. But just like if I would have went and bought used equipment, I could have spent a third of that cost and have the rest of the money in my pocket. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's going to make trainers and clients want to come to my facility over other facilities?
If you don't mind me asking, you got me in the headphones over there. What's like, for instance, a piece of equipment that maybe sets you apart from some of the more typical corporate type stuff?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like, I mean, Dallas could attest to this, is like, you come over and see my squat racks, where you can also change them out. So they're bench press racks, all that stuff. They're called Olympic lifting racks. Like, we got the logo that's all smooth with the Glory Gains platform, where you can just, most gyms, you have like a little ramp you got to go on and they're wooden platforms. This is all my whole entire 10,000 gym, besides the turf, my 10,000 square foot gym is all this soft padding flooring. I mean, a normal gym you would pay for like $1 a square foot for just a rollout pad. Mine's these little tiles that are super soft and spongy. So the whole entire gym has that. That, instead of costing me, $2,000 to fill out the whole floor, that cost me $40,000. But at the end of the day, the aesthetic look and the feel of it's just so much nicer than a normal gym.
And I want to jump in just one more time
before
go
ahead. It's all you, brother.
We were talking a little bit before we started, and you work with a couple of my clients, like actually 3 or 4 of them, which is funny. And all of them are always posting stories in different parts of the gym on Instagram. And I think it's different than the usual Instagram gym pictures. Right. And I think in a day and age where that stuff is so big and so impactful, that you're making a huge differentiator just in having the gym be, I tell people all the time at my other studio, it has to be Instagrammable. If people don't want to take pictures of themselves in it, why would they want to come? And so I always see like one of the mainstays of your gym, I see your dumbbells or whatever, your kettlebells or like have demon faces on them or something.
We got the apes and the Star Wars.
Dude, I see that all the time on Instagram, and I immediately knew exactly what gym it is when I see those things. So good job on just like aesthetically branding yourself, man. It's been huge for you, I bet.
Go off from that, man, this was crazy, but this is kind of like told me in my back of my mind, man, Caleb, you're doing things right. So like I said, we opened up in June of 2017. In July of 2017, first I had Steve Cook walk through, which if you're in the fitness industry, you know who Steve Cook is. He has over 2 million followers. He was the face of bodybuilding.com. He's on The Biggest Loser right now as one of the coaches. And he walked in, and I remember him saying, hey, Caleb, can I throw this on my Instagram to my people, saying, this is what my gym's going to look like 6 months from now.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. And then this was even more big, and you're going to like this, Dallas, is literally a month later, a publicist reaches out to me, and I thought it was fake at first, because you get emails all the time that are spam. And it's like, hey, we'd like a call with you. We have a high-end athlete that we're going to put on the cover of our Sports Illustrated magazine. And I'm like, okay, cool. Who's the athlete, whatever? And at the time, he was an Arizona Cardinals guy. He's like, we need to shoot with the turf, and we have a 40-yard turf field. And Tyrann Matthews, the honey badger. So I got him and his whole crew to come through. He signed a jersey for me, took a pic with me, and all that stuff. Wow. And I know you're a big Chiefs fan, so I know you'd love
Super
that.
Bowl champ, honey badger.
Yeah, boy. So, I mean, and I got to meet him. And that was within the first 2 months, those 2 big icons came, and I could throw that on our Instagram page saying, and both of them shouting us out, man. And it was like, okay, Caleb, for these 2 guys to be so hyped up about your facility, there's going to be other people that notice how you did this the right way, and you're going to stand out from most facilities in Scottsdale.
Well, it's just kind of your hard work paying off, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm taking all these risks, and I'm sure you had a little anxiety pressure, and then you get these 2 guys that come through, and it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing here. This is the right move.
Those first 2 months or so, knowing, I mean, if I can throw numbers out, you don't mind if I say numbers and stuff. Okay, like that. Man. For example, just my rent alone was $15,000 a month, with not even the overhead of the electricity bill, all that stuff. I'm paying. I just paid that huge equipment off for all brand new, and it's like, okay, now I got to buy computers, now I got to buy desks, now I got to buy $1,000 worth of toilet paper and paper towels a month, like things like that. And you're like, man, Caleb, did you really do the right thing? Did you go overboard and really push the limit maybe a little too much too soon? But then to all of a sudden see like all these people saying how great it is. Oh, I'm going to tell my friend, tell this. And man, and I mean, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but we started off with me and 2 other trainers. And right now, Glory Gains, 2.5 years later, we have 40 personal trainers, over 1,500 members. And it's just been a total blessing. Now it's like, what's next? How do I grow even more? Because we're limited in space.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I mean, I've seen lots of pro athletes come in there.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's an MMA guy,
Yep.
NFL, I mean, MLB, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
They've been in a Glory Gains.
Yeah, man, we got 2 UFC fighters fighting on the big stage in Vegas early March. I got my boy Austin Eckler coming out in 2 weeks to stay with me, and we're gonna do some YouTube videos for him and stuff like that. You know me, this hurts my heart a little bit, but I got all the Niner boys that come through. I even did a bachelorette kind of 16-girl workout, and then they all went to the Cardinals game after. So I got to meet all the wives and girlfriends of the Niners players, and I'm really close with a few of those guys. So it's like, man, it's been like growing up in Nebraska and flashing back, like, man, 8 years ago I moved out here. Like, I wouldn't honestly think any of this would be a reality.
What was that feeling like when you finally got to, not the top of the mountain, but you got to a really good place where you could see out, like,
yeah,
all right, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, man. Like, it's every day, like I told you earlier, when I wake up, man, and you can go onto our page or our Glory Gains, and you'll see we have this huge writing on our wall when you first walk into our gym, and it just says blessed. And I mean, it sounds cliche or cheesy, or you'd see in shirts people put blessed, but it really is. Like, I want the people to think, like, when you first walk into our gym, just like the first thing I do when I wake up every day, it's like, man, this is a blessing that I can get up and do what I love and make an impact on people's lives.
That's great, Caleb. And I mean, everybody gets that vibe when they come in there. I mean, everybody. And the one question I want to ask you that, I mean, I've seen you interview trainers. When you're looking for a new trainer to come to Glory Gains, what are some stipulations or some things you look for? Just, is it like a person, or is it like, hey, what kind of workouts are they going to do? What's that like?
Right. Like, so I always, most trainers, when they first walk through, their initial reactions like, man, this place is huge. This place is so awesome. The atmosphere, the vibes are here. And that's why we've been so successful. You could have the nicest things, but if you don't have the right trainers and the right people around, it doesn't matter. So with the trainers, I always interview them, kind of say, hey, what's your ultimate goal? What are you trying to achieve? I want all my trainers to run their own businesses to the ultimate success, because they're virtually what I was 3 years ago. They were just a trainer paying rent, running their own brand. But here's the thing, I want to be that owner that can help them grow into what I am. If I see a trainer come into my office tomorrow and say, yo, Caleb, I'm going to go start my own gym, I'm going to be happy for him and be like, hey, if you need any advice, I was where you were. And that's the guy I want to be. And so these trainers, man, a lot of them come to me and they were in the same spot I was. Hey, Caleb, this gym's taking 70% of my commission check. Hey, I'm making $12.50 an hour at this gym. It's like, I want to make a living and do what I love, but I just don't know how to do it. And that's where I've kind of found my calling now. At first, I thought it was just making people, better physically looking, which obviously I love doing, and I love being there as a friend to my clients. But now helping these trainers, who are making maybe $500 or $1,000 a month, barely scraping by, to running $10,000, $20,000 businesses a month and doing what they love and being happy and impacting other people's lives. So usually, most of the time, if the trainer's certified and they show the knowledge and they have the work ethic, they're going to make it work, and I'm there to help them.
That's awesome. And another thing that you tell clients is it's like a big family, right?
Oh, 100%.
Because you've got other, like, we always joke around, and I say, you kind of are a cult guy. You'll get everybody invested into something else, and not a good cult. Like, you'll want, and it's a good thing, and you'll help people grow themselves. I mean, you've helped me grow a ton, Phil, everybody else. But what, like, when you find something good and you're like, okay, this has helped my life, what makes you just be like, all right, I'm gonna see if this would help somebody? Is that just a good nature of you coming out, or like, because you do a good job with it, you get people to follow?
That's where it comes down to, like, where like my faith is too. It's like, it's pretty cool. Saturday nights, man, at the non-denominational church I go, it used to just be me singing by myself, listening to the message and all that, and now we have like they call us like the Glory Gain Squad. Literally, we take up like 5 rows in the back of our church. There's like 30 of us, and it's like just growing. It's almost, it's just like, I feel this and how much it impacts my life, and how great, whether churches or, like, I'm always shouting out Fresh Box and their acai bowls or salads. It's like, man, this affects my life. You guys all need to go here too, because you guys are going to love it. I'm not getting any gain out of it, but I just want you guys to be as happy as I am. And I mean, if you're doing everything with the right intentions, that's where I just feel like God's going to carry you the right way,
That's powerful.
Dude, I had my first fresh box yesterday.
There we go, man.
Yesterday, last night.
Dude, it's a game changer.
Dude, it was good. And the nice thing is, like, I always make so much extra food.
Yeah.
And me and my girlfriend, it was just like the perfect amount of food.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you look at how, like, people may say it's a little expensive, but it's no more expensive than going to Cane's or something, you know?
And that's the thing, man.
It'll make you feel better.
Dude, it was good food. Like the meat, like even the ground pork that we had, like was way nicer than the ground pork I had in my fridge. So, dude, that's
awesome. I'm happy.
Yeah, but I mean, even like, because when I lift with you and we do legs and stuff, it's like me, Phil, and you'll like throw in a couple random guys.
Yeah,
but like I've met Daniel Boone from HB Wellness.
Yeah,
that's a bomb spot. You know,
their shakes are money.
Like Lindsay Olson, the hairdresser, cut my hair. Sienna, the realtor. Like, you've got so many fun people that come to this gym, and everybody's so nice. Because sometimes, I mean, you attest this. Like, sometimes we'll go to like some place in Scottsdale and like Independence Gym. I like that place too, but it's very much like, hey, I'm trying to do my workout. Yeah. Look out, bro. Like, are you done with those hundreds? I'm like, yeah, okay. At Glory Gains, like, hey, what's up, man? Are you doing good? Like, how's it going? It's just, there's a different culture.
Dude, it all stems like from the top down. It's like, so I tell all my trainers from a respect level, because in other gyms, if you're a trainer, it's almost a threat when a trainer comes up and talks to your clients. Right. So like if, for example, to name some guys at our gym, like Michael or Colton would come up to you and say, yo, Dallas, what's up, man? Or whatever. At another gym, it'd be, man, they're trying to take my client from me. At our gym, it's like, no, they're just genuine dudes just trying to say, hey, Dallas, what's up? How are you doing? Yeah. And that's kind of the atmosphere, the environment we've created, where we are all kind of a family or friendship. It almost comes to the huge thing of CrossFit, where I don't CrossFit at all, and I have nothing bad to say about CrossFit, but the reason why they're so successful is because they make it almost a family thing, a cult thing where everyone pushes everyone. And that's kind of how I want my gym to be. You come in at 5 a.m. most of the time, Dallas, there might be 7 other girls you're working out with and 2 other guys, and out of the 10 of you, you might all be doing different workouts, but in between, when you're getting a water break, I'll be like, yo, Dallas, meet my client Sherry. Yo, Dallas, meet my boy Adam, he does this. And it's just connecting people. And usually, even though Phoenix is so big, there's just so many small little circles where everyone knows everyone, you know?
And I think that's what you do special, and that's why I continue to go up there. And even you, like the first time I met you, very nice. And now, you know, I go watch football games at your house. Yeah. You know, we've just became good friends. And I mean, Nick, when are you going to come up there, man?
Let's go.
You got to get up. We got to get you big, bro.
I know, absolutely, man. All 135 of me, huh?
Dude, we'll go up there, dude.
Let's go.
Absolutely. But since I have the mic again, this is the first episode I've actually kind of been jumping in, but your story sort of really relates to my story, being a studio owner and being an entrepreneur, because you are an entrepreneur. Yep. And I think it's no mistake that you said you tend to see the same people and everybody knows each other. Dude, people that have the same values run in the same circles, right? And it's no mistake that we know the same people in Dallas, and people have connections. This is what happens.
The law of attraction, man.
Yeah, and I mean, those values that you hold, I think that attracts the right people to you. So
yeah, dude, well said.
Your brain's like a magnet, right? You're gonna attract whatever you want, whatever you think, whatever you feel, right? And you definitely get those vibes when you come into your place. Everybody's happy. Everybody's trying to improve their lives, right. And that's what makes kind of what you're trying to do very special. So kudos to you.
Thank you, bro.
Now I've got a few other things, like just what's the hardest decision you've had to make in this lifetime? I know it's a very broad question, but whether it was being like, all right, I got to cut, 5 trainers, I got to make this decision, it can be personal or professional.
I mean,
what's the hardest thing?
Just to name a few, man. First off was moving out here, like not knowing anyone. I'm a big family guy. I was in a relationship with a girl when I moved out here, and it was just like, man, I'm kind of leaving everything behind to take this business venture risk and seeing what I can accomplish to what I assumed was, hey, this is the big dream. Living in the small town Nebraska life, that's not going to cut it for me. It's just, I wanted to do something bigger and better than what I could ever possibly achieve there. That was a huge risk. So like, honestly, man, that's the hard part. I might see my dad twice a year when he comes out here. I've been back to Nebraska twice, and I've been out here for 8 years. I mean, I hardly see my grandparents, my mom. Now it's awesome. I have the means to fly them out here. I just had my little 12-year-old nephew out here meeting Ricky Fowler for the Waste Management Open. Like having him do stuff like that, like now it's I'm getting to the point where it's like, all right, now I can see you guys more. But that was tough, man, because I'm a big family guy, and not being able to see them too often, just talk on the phone, that was really big. And then the second part is, man, I want to see everyone achieve and everyone be successful. With me growing, I want all my trainers and clients to grow with me. And there's been a few times I've had to do the tough things and had to cut some trainers off our staff. Just they weren't making the right decisions, and I give them multiple chances. And that's the hardest part for me is it's the more we grow, it's harder to keep everyone happy, because there's, especially in the training world, there's so many different egos. With 40 trainers, you got 40 different egos and 40 different beliefs of some people think, hey, I do things the right way, you're doing things the wrong way. And me just trying to be the middleman saying, hey, we're all doing it the right way. We're all trying to grow here. And it's been tough. That's been a big struggle trying to learn as I go, because there's not many examples or other personal training businesses per se that have done what I've done where I can use as an example.
What would you say to, because you do run these groups, you do these like 3 to 5 people groups. What would you say to someone who's like, well, I want a trainer that's going to just watch me? It's just a one-on-one. What do you say to them?
Yeah, man. So actually my active clientele list right now is about at 250 clients. So I got 250 clients. I got 40 trainers. I got 1,500 members. And how do I keep all of them happy? While having my own social life, having, a happy girlfriend, seeing my family. And the biggest thing is I think it's super important to pass off with what you can't ultimately handle. So when I first started, I would take any client possible, and I'd find how to make that person happy, no matter what their goals were. Right. Now someone comes to me, I'm blessed to have so many talented trainers around me. Say someone comes and says, man, I just had Tommy John surgery. I'm an MLB athlete, or I'm an aspiring MLB athlete. Well, I'm going to give you to my chiropractor or my physical therapist trainer or someone who specializes in that, instead of me being like, oh yeah, I can make this work and I'll take your $100 every hour. So, I first sit down and I meet with them, and now pretty much, unless you're a friend of a friend coming into my small groups, I'm literally just handing off clients. So if, like, for example, I was on the phone on my way here, and it was a new girl who was 28 years old, a little overweight, and wasn't confident with being in a group. And I said, that's totally fine. She said she wants to train at 5 a.m. So I'm going to put her with a 5 a.m. one-on-one trainer. She wants a female trainer. And then down the road, if she's more comfortable and needs that small group and it's a little bit more affordable, then hey, come hop in my groups and you'll meet some cool people.
That's awesome, man. That's very cool that you do that, because it helps her out to like kind of get to that stage that she needs to be. Yeah,
totally. So our gym's definitely pretty much anyone. I have a trainer for it,
Who's that guy? I always talk to him about the Green Bay Packers and Kansas City Chiefs, the older guy that does all the boxing classes.
Oh yeah, that's JD.
He's
awesome.
I got to write that down. What's his last name?
JD Durso. And Nick Durso. Durso. Yeah,
Nicky,
those guys,
we got to get those two on here. Dude, they're awesome.
They're awesome, man. And to go like kind of in detail, and he can tell you this, just another blessing from God, man. He came to me. He just got screwed at his other gym. They kicked him out literally with no notice.
Wow.
He went to 3 other gyms that he knew in the area, and they put all these stipulations on him. Man, he was struggling. He didn't quite have the rent yet there, and he needed to buy all the punching bags and stuff like that. And he got totally screwed. And I said, look, man, I don't have anything like that in my facility. I don't have any boxing or punching bags, but we got all this room along this turf, along this wall. I'll buy those bags and you start running your business. And literally, he's probably one of my top 5 producing trainers.
He's awesome.
And 3 other gyms wouldn't take him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he's a total, if you walk by to go to the restroom, he won't even know, introduce himself and say what's up and, give you a fist bump.
Yeah, dude. I'm always wearing Chiefs stuff. And so he grabbed me one day as I was walking to the water fountain. He's like, Chiefs fan, huh? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, what was the name of their first quarterback? And I'm like,
he's always throwing.
Yeah, I was like, something Dawson. He's like, Oh, pretty good, huh? You know, he's just a cool guy.
Just today, he came up to me and my client talking football, because that's all I talk about is fantasy football or football when I'm not talking about like training or faith. And he's like, "Hey, Caleb, who beat the Oakland Raiders in the 2003 Super Bowl?" I'm like, the Tampa Bay Bucks. And he's like, and he like Googles, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right." I'm like, well, so random. Like, why are you even asking me that?
He is a very knowledgeable guy, and he's just I want to do a podcast with him and his son. Dude. I think
there's
that'd be
so
great.
many unique people at our gym, man. That would just love to do this.
Now, what's the future gonna be like, man? Tell what's gonna happen with Caleb.
So, like
Hock
I told you, what's next? What's next? What's next? So, I'm the man that's always keeping quiet until I actually do it. Like, I don't like to boast or, hey, this is coming. I like to stay kind of quiet. But no, my dream and reality of what's Glory Gains can be, everyone's always like, are you going to start a second location? And I think the next step is definitely just to grow where I'm at and turn this more into a health and wellness facility than just a gym. So right now, for example, I have Gretchen in there who does yoga and meditation.
Shout out Gretchen Cscs, the coolest person
the grateful
on planet
yogini.
Earth. Yeah.
My guy Joe of Active Health Scottsdale, he's like an amazing chiropractor. I got Will Rudolphi doing his photographer, videography stuff.
Yeah. He's going to be on in a few weeks.
There we go.
Yeah,
I'm just shouting names out. I have Jake Weeks who does red light therapy. So it's like I got these little businesses inside my business, but I want it to be a huge like business wellness that competes with these corporate gyms. So you walk in here, you know, you got the barber, the best barber in town, the best hairstylist, you have the best smoothie bar, you have the best esthetician, you have the best spray tan, the best nails, the best recovery room, whether it's a hot tub, cold tub, recovery boots. So you go in here and you have all these small little businesses all circled around the gym that not only makes the gym better, but everyone inside the gym can go outside there. Like, for example, me, I just got done doing an arm workout before this, and it's like, usually I get my hair cut on Friday. It's like, well, I'm going to have to schedule with my hairstylist or my barber, and then I'm going to go get him. Well, dang, if I could just pop in the shower and then just walk 10 steps and then get my hair cut. You know what I mean? It's I want it to be a total community, and I'm looking. It's tough. Just like going back to what I did before, it's like I gotta be super patient, and I'll know inside when I find the right building or when I can expand this building. When I find that right one, I'll make the jump. And again, it's those little risks I've always taken in my life that we've kind of built up through us talking, is moving here, leaving my corporate job, starting Glory Gains Gym. It's like I've built myself up enough to be like, know when it's okay to take that risk. And I mean, it's scary. I mean, jumping from a 12,000 square foot gym to a 30,000 square foot facility in Scottsdale, Arizona, it sounds crazy, but it's like when you've done it before, these little jumps, it's just the next step in. So,
well, yeah. And you, like you said, it's kind of like conquering fear.
Yeah.
You have to face fear. If you try to run away from fear, it's going to catch you, or it's just going to,
and
make you falter.
I mean, I don't want to be stagnant, I mean, I live a blessed life. I have an amazing life. I have amazing people in my life. I'm making great money. I'm changing people's lives. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do I keep on going from here?
Well, you've got a great inner circle. And I mean, it starts with your girlfriend to your best friends to, you've got a nice place where you live now, but you've all cultivated this life. Like, people that see you now are probably like, but you started out with nothing. And that's why I wanted to have you on today.
Yeah, man.
It's a big compliment to you, but I ask every guest on Swim Lessons, what's something they could tell people that's kind of their mantra to life, and just something they live by and something to leave the people with today.
That's easy, man. And I write it every day. I know it's kind of faded right now because I got this soap, but first thing I do in the morning, man, I have a pin on my nightstand, and this has been 12 years now, and I write TBS. That's been my motto since I was 17 years old, and it stands for too blessed to be stressed. So every day, man, it's like there's tons of stressing, whether you're just trying to get through school, like I was trying to get through track practice, trying to get through this problem or this issue. It's just, at the end of the day, close your eyes, take a deep breath. We're too blessed to be stressed to even be here. Why are you stressing out over these little things? If, in a week from now, are you even going to think about the thing you're stressing over right now? So life's such a blessing, and you just got to take full advantage of that. And if you just worry about all these little things, man, it's just going to eat you up.
Yeah, 100%. And to close out, we've kind of adopted this new thing. It's called 10 for 10.
Okay.
And 10 for 10 is, I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Yeah. You have to answer them as quickly as possible.
All right.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
And away we go. Favorite NFL team?
New York Jets.
Favorite NBA team?
Phoenix Suns.
Favorite NFL player?
Ooh, I'd have to go. Kyle Juszczyk.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dog.
Hamburger or hot dog?
Hamburger.
Steak or shrimp?
Steak.
Dumbbells or kettlebells?
Dumbbells.
What city does the NFL team nickname the Cowboys play in?
Dallas.
What city does the NBA team nickname the Mavericks play in?
Dallas.
Who is your favorite athlete to train at Glory Gaines?
Kyle Nelson.
No, you're supposed to say Dallas.
I like
Damn.
it. I
gotta redo that 10 for 10 now. God.
Bro, that was good.
It's all right.
You almost had me.
I know. Yeah, you said, God, that's all right. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming in today.
Heck yeah, man.
You mean a lot to me as a friend. You've helped me out in my life, and I can't wait to see where you end up in the future and to look back and maybe do another one of these.
For sure.
Down the road, and we'll see how Glory Gaines has gone up and up.
Dude, I love it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Caleb. That's a wrap.
I told you it's gonna be a party.